All right, the ladies are in France. They have already filmed the reunion. LVP has officially resigned, and Erika Jayne is 25% El Salvadorian. All right. This is Troy J Robertson back with FabFitFun for this week's Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, episode 18 recap. Tonight's episode, the ladies are all the way in France, and then we are still talking about the devastating and horrible forest fires of California from last fall. Camille and Denise were not able to make it on the trip, and it was really disappointing that they weren't able to make it, but the ladies were super supportive, obviously during such a traumatic time for them. As always, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to FabFitFun's YouTube channel. Hit that bell, get those notifications for tons more content with me and for lots of future content from FabFitFun. So let's get into it, shall we? Tonight's Issa look goes to Erika Jayne, and it is a casual moment tonight with that Fendi puffer jacket on the first day for them to go shopping. That was a moment. That puffer jacket was everything. Erika Jayne, you did not let us down. Even though no glam is in Provence, you are still bringing a moment. Kudos, Erika Jayne. Last night's quote of the night, when Rinna was talking about the bridging of the gap and the discussion between her and Kim Richards and kind of mending things and extending an olive branch to one another, she said, there was a big fat elephant in the room for a couple years now. To which Dorit had to interject and say, a bunny actually. I thought that was such a quick moment. It was perfectly timed, and that was last night's quote of the night. I really had to search for a few things. There were some funny things, but I think that one had the most weight for me. Troy's titillating topics. I need to know who this bartender was in France because he was getting the ladies lit from like one or two cocktails. Erika had one tomato juice and vodka and she was buzzed. It's exactly how many it takes me to get buzzed on an airplane. That altitude can really get you with a tomato juice and vodka. In France, maybe it's the altitude as well that we'll blame it on. She also, on her second one, said, I think this bartender's out to get me. And that's what I do, I think, every time I sip a drink that I get from a bartender at a gay bar, because I always am thinking, this person's out to get me. Especially at Union Cafe in Columbus, Ohio, who is known nationwide for a very heavy pour. Topic number 2. Kyle Richards brought up something that was very enlightening for me, and I think for most this was extremely surprising, but she talked about her struggles with an eating disorder in her early years in the entertainment business. She talked about being on set and wanting a different wardrobe. She felt as though her wardrobe was really big, and their response to her was, lose some weight and we'll get you a different wardrobe. Her response was eating 6 almonds a day and drinking warm V8 juice as a meal. This was really bold of her because she said that she has kept this a really big secret from her daughters. It's something she didn't want to bring up because she didn't want to throw any ideas into their head. She was super afraid how they would react, and she's kept this secret for a long time. The discussion of body image on this show is not new, and so for her to bring this up, I commend her for this. I think that she's really brave. I think she feels like she's in a place where she can bring this up since her kids are older and might not be susceptible to some of the pressures of body image issues. So I really enjoyed this moment from Kyle Richards. So thank you so much for sharing. Topic number 3. When the ladies were discussing the character, Erika Girardi versus Erika Jayne, and they were kind of talking about it like Erika wasn't just sitting right there, and she clearly was sitting right there, and she was clearly uncomfortable that they were just talking about her alter ego right in front of her. It was probably a weird Alice through the looking glass type thing, like very bizarre. It brings up the topic about Erika Jayne versus Erika Girardi, and Erika Jayne as a character and a persona. So what do y'all think? Did Erika Jayne misinterpret Erika Jayne's persona and character, and should Erika be offended? Or was Rinna just channeling Erika Jayne's zero fucks given mentality in order to say what she wanted to say? So getting into the recap, really the main thing that happened is just this entire topic and climactic ending to the episode discussing Erika Girardi versus Erika Jayne. And this is what most of the drama was themed about last night's episode. Rinna is claiming that she couldn't face Kim Richards as Rinna, and it was easier to do it as Erika Jayne. She's also claiming that although it wasn't the right time or place, that at the end of the day, it still opened the door for her and Kim to fix what they needed to fix. But then we've got like the moral compass of, I don't even know, of Beverly Hills, allegedly, 90210, Teddy and Kyle. It just felt very dog with a bone, like they weren't letting up on it. And I don't know if I want to use the word bait like Erika and Dorit used, but it did feel very follow the yellow brick road, if you will. Like, let's follow this breadcrumb and see if something bites. At the end of the day, it was Rinna's interpretation of Erika Jayne as a performance artist, persona, character, and she's saying, I know I didn't offend you, and I did it because I knew it wouldn't offend you. And Erika Jayne is saying, listen, you didn't offend me, not at all. I wasn't offended in the least. If that is how she feels empowered as a woman to use my Erika Jayne persona, that is what she used. You know, we've got Rinna saying, listen, what's the effing deal, Teddy? Like, it's none of your business. What are you doing here? Like, what are you trying to get at? Dorit is feeling like Teddy is being Kyle's henchman. I want you guys to let me know down below what you think about that. Do you guys think that Teddy is being Kyle's henchman, or do you guys think that they're just together in this argument? At the end of the day, I'm a really big perpetuator of fight your own battles. And it involved, if Kyle wants to be offended by this, Kyle can be offended by this. And I don't think that Teddy has ever expressed that the C word maybe offends her. And so, unless it did to the deepest core of her, I don't think that she should have tried to fight this battle for Kyle. It dealt with Kyle and Kyle's sister Kim. Kim and Rinna fixed it. Why is this going on like this? And I think that that's why Dorit and Erika are using the term bait, because it did feel very dog with a bone. You're not letting go of this. At the end, Erika is kind of just over it. And she's not over it to the fact that Lisa Rinna, this is my interpretation. I think that Erika was over it, not in the sense that she was offended that Rinna used that as an excuse to say the C word and to act like that. I think that she was annoyed that it just wouldn't come to a stop. Like, the conversation wasn't stopping, it wasn't going anywhere, it wasn't halting. They kept badgering her about it. It felt very badgery. Rinna explained herself. She said it wasn't the right time or place. Erika Jayne is claimed over and over again that she wasn't offended by it. And so, what more, it was like, what do they want? Do they want blood? Do they want an arm? Do they want Erika Jayne's 34 inches of beautiful platinum hair? Like, what did they want in this? And I don't know what they wanted. It was a bait and switch. You know, towards the end, Erika Jayne was just so over it, she started to pretend, fall asleep, and just closed her eyes. Towards Kyle, she had enough. You get to the point where you just say, no more, enough is enough. She was over it. She closed her perfectly poured eyes. So what do y'all think? Do you guys think that Teddy and Kyle were baiting her, or do you think that they just wanted more of an explanation? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Was this a bait and switch? That is it for this week's episode. Let's get into this week's Rose and Thorn. This week's Rose is Lisa Rinna walking into dinner with those high boots on, and she had, I don't know, a vodka soda at the chateau. She walks in, the music is timed perfectly from production, and she just kicks and kicks and kicks. And it was literally me every time I've done a hardcore pregame, and then I get to the club and I am just ready to move it. Except she had a dinner table at the end and not a cage in the dance floor for 4 hours. But Rinna is such a mood. She's so much energy. It just like just hilarious. This week's Rose is Teddy and Rinna ordering a burger in France. Listen, I know that everyone wants to do what they want to do. Everyone's their own person. You make your own decisions. They ordered a burger in France, and it's just, I just feel like, at least order a croque monsieur like Erika did. A croque monsieur is so good, and a croque madame is even better, and that's a croque monsieur, which is like a white rye-y type bread, but not like American rye where it's swirl, traditional rye, I don't know. And you put ham in it, and then you put the cheese over top of it, but then you cut a hole in the middle of the croque monsieur, and you pop an egg in it. A croque madame is even better than a croque monsieur. You heard it here first, people. That is it again for this week's episode. I am Troy J Robertson. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was episode 18. So much fun. The drama and the fun and the adventures continue next week in France. So stay tuned. Join me back here next week. Over and out.